I do believe in that supernatural power. I may not believe in the rest, but Taylor Swift,
People
she got a lot of power
people-
going on over there.
They say they got some black magic going on over there.
Bro, they letting the rivers run red with blood. They killing goats. They're committing heinous crimes against animals in the back of their facility to win these games. Man, they're pulling shit off. I don't get it.
The ref's this, the ref's that.
Because MJ was the first to do it. He was the pioneer.
They have the personnel to be able to execute it. They run it perfectly.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another quick episode of Breaking House Rules. It's me, your boy Vaughn. I got Cam, I got Dre here. And we're, here for a little quick, some quick Super Bowl questioning, just, a little intro going into the big game on Sunday. So I'll start it off. Fellas, let's draft our top favorite Super Bowl snacks for watching the big game.
Ooh, okay. Okay, all right. So who's going first? Who's going first?
Tell me what you're thinking, Cam. I want to know what you think, Cam.
Okay, so how are we doing this draft, though? Like, am I just picking my three, or are we going back and forth?
Okay, how about this? You just draft your top three, and then, Dre, you draft yours, and I'm going to draft mine. But, hold on, real quick. So, is chips and salsa one item, or are they independent items?
I mean, because you can have pesto in there, too. I would say that's one.
I think chips and salsa is one item. Because chips and salsa is different than now. If you said chips and guac, queso, and salt, that's a smorgasbord. Now that's three items. But if it's just chips and salsa, or chips and guac, or chips and queso, then I think we're good. Are we including all, or is it just snacks? Like is like wings, pizza, beer, alcohol?
Yeah, let's say your favorite Super Bowl foods, snacks, drinks, beverages.
Okay. So let's make this fun then. Instead of me just drafting my top three, let's just go in a draft order, like we're drafting Emmett, and we got to pick off of what everybody else does. Snake draft.
Oh, wow.
Let's do that.
That's tough.
Okay.
I can live with that.
So who wants to go first? Vaughn or Dre? Since I did the idea, I'll go last.
Vaughn, you go first.
So one of you guys
I'll go first.
I think I can get good value.
So Vaughn's got the number 1 overall pick. Dre's got the number 2 overall pick. I got 3 and 4 because it's a snake draft. Dre got 5. Vaughn got 6 and 7. I got 8, or Dre got 8, and then I got 9, and we'll be done.
Okay, cool. That sounds
cool. So Vaughn, with the number 1 pick in the Super Bowl food draft, what you got?
I'm gonna go with old reliable and go with do I have to say? Okay, I'm gonna go with wings. I'm gonna go with wings.
That's it. The clear number 1 pick. The generational pick. Dre, you know how the number 2 pick. This is where the draft starts. They would say, because the wings were the clear favorite.
I ain't gonna lie. I gave him the number 1 pick because I didn't think he was gonna pick wings number 1. So now I'm in a tough spot.
That's where
so now Dre is thinking,
I'm going to go like a nice steak, barbecue's on. You're going to throw a little churrasco on there.
Steak for a Super Bowl. That is such a
steak for Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He goes with the kicker on the second round, the second pick of the draft. Okay. He goes with the long snapper. All right. I mean, hey.
I love steak, but I don't think I've ever eaten steak at a Super Bowl. I mean, you're having some fancy Super Bowl parties.
I didn't expect. That's a pick.
If the barbecue's
on,
someone's bringing a steak, and we're cooking the steak.
I didn't expect that.
So since I got 3 and 4, we're gonna pair these things up well. I'm going beer with my number 3 overall.
No. But you can't.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick.
I gotta go beer because
with 6, I was going beer.
Beer. I'm beer. Period.
Beer,
like
for sure.
We're down to some beers. You could put your favorite beer. Whatever your favorite beer. That's number 3 right there. Number 4, we're gonna go with pizza. Pizza is the number 4 pick here. Pizza and beer. I feel pretty good with those. My solid 2 picks to start the draft.
Cam, I got a question. What is your favorite beer?
Yeah.
Okay, so so I like craft beer, so this could go
anywhere.
So
you gotta pick. Okay, so for beer, you gotta pick a specific beer.
So I got beer as my topic, but as my pick here. But my favorites, like traditional beers that you can find in the store, I like Shiner Bock. I'm a big Shiner Bock guy. I could do like a Dos Equis, a Corona. Those are probably, I would say, my go-to like traditional beers. But I'm also craft, like whatever's local is what I'll hit beer wise.
We're gonna have to get you some Johnny Cubas for the Super Bowl.
But see that's a little bit more local. That's what I'm saying. Like depending on where it is. Right. If I'm in Kansas City, I might want a Boulevard. You know, if I'm certain, I like white ales too. So like if I'm like up north, I might get like a white ale. But yeah, beer, pizza. No, you cannot put pineapples on your pizza. Not in my crib. So
okay, your pick. You got it.
Yeah. So that's 3 and 4. So 5. This is Dre's got 5, and then Vine, you got 6 and 7.
I got 5. Okay. At 5, I'll go beverage as well. I'm gonna go tequila, Flecha Sud tequila.
Okay.
Someone's got to bring it out. You know.
Okay. What I got 6-7. 6-7.
Yeah, you got 6-7. So you got 2 picks here, Vine.
Okay, 6-7. So for me, I'm gonna go wine cooler. You know what I'm saying? Twisted Teas. What are the other ones called?
Some High Nooners.
High Noons, Twisted Teas.
Okay, yeah. Seltzers.
You know what I'm saying? Mike's Hard Lemonade. There's hard seltzers, wine coolers, same category. What I got? Wings. I got wine coolers / seltzers.
What is going to be the final pick?
You got wings.
Final
pick
in the draft.
I'm gonna go with chips and queso.
Okay.
Got to do it because you need your finger foods. Because you need the smaller finger foods. You got the wings, right? Somebody got to sit down with a plate. But hey, I'm just walking by. I got chips, scoop. It's good. I would say chips, queso, salsa, guac, but we already established that that's not one unit.
No, you got to get yeah. You can have chips and something, but it can't be all 3. Yeah.
Right. That's valid.
So you're going chips and queso.
Chips and queso. Yep.
Okay. Well, Dre, you got the 8th pick.
I got the 8th pick. Again, probably not a popular pick, but another fan favorite on a Super Bowl day for us is some croquetas.
Okay.
That's just nice little light bite. You know, you're grabbing, you're picking, and you're going. It's a nice little filler food before the steaks and the wings.
Okay. So you're getting steaks, croquetas, and what was your other pick?
Tequila.
Steaks, croquetas, and tequila. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so I got beer and pizza already. So this is tough. I was thinking about chips and queso for sure. So I could go with chips and salsa here, or I can go with meatballs.
Ooh.
And I think because I have pizza and because I have beer, I'm going to go with chips and salsa here. Chips and salsa here to complete the round. Maybe I can get meatballs on my pizza if I wanted that as a topping. But that is going to be my pick. And so that is our draft. And so you guys job in the comments, and we're gonna do it all big on social so you can see it. Tell me who's picked the best draft. You got Vaughn with the first overall pick. He ended up with chicken wings. What did you end up with? Chicken wings, seltzers,
hard seltzer / wine coolers, and chips and queso.
Okay.
To me, Dre went ahead and got the steak, the croquetas, and the tequila, locally owned.
Yep.
And then Cam went with the beer,
the pizza, and the chips and salsa.
So I mean, it's pretty. You know, it's a diversified. Spread.
Yeah.
You know, each team picked exactly where they needed to. Some teams, you know, were it was a surprise pick. We didn't know that the Green Bay Packers were going to pick a quarterback in the first round when they had Aaron Rodgers. But it all is going to work out in the end. So let us know what your top 3 picks are for Super Bowl Sunday.
That's a pretty solid lineup.
Sure. We know who won, you know. All right, so we made our Super Bowl topping food picks. The next thing I want to do Super Bowl related is
there you go.
You know, we got to do a Howlin with the Wolfe, and this one's Super Bowl edition. Let's do a few quick burn-in topics that I want to get you guys thought on. There's a prevailing thought that if Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl, he will not only be in the conversation, but has a great case of being the greatest player of all time. overtaking Tom Brady, your Dan Marino, your Joe Montana, whoever you think your great is. And I agree. I think that if Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl, he is the greatest player of all time now. I know a lot of people will say rings. He's got to catch Tom Brady because Brady has 7. Mahomes would only have 4. Mahomes would do what Brady has, not three-peat. I think three-peat is a legendary moment. The way he's won and he's doing all of this before he even turned 30 years old, I think that puts him in a level of rare air where it's just too hard to ignore. Brady may have the longevity. Mahomes, in my opinion, would be the GOAT.
See, I feel like this is similar to the LeBron Michael Jordan debate. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're watching these games and you're watching Patrick Mahomes play the game now and versus Tom Brady back then, you're asking yourself who can control the game more, who can be successful in these game defining drives, who can make the most throws, who controls the clock, controls their offense to be able to be successful. And both players do. And so then you look at rings. Brady obviously has 7 and a very lengthy career. Mahomes has 4 or 3 right now.
He has 3 right now. This would be 4.
He's stepping into his opportunity to get the 4th and 3rd in a row. So I think that the debate is very close, and it's a compelling argument on both sides. I think Pat's level of dominance in this era, I think, is it's kind of hard to pass. It's kind of hard to look past that, just because the game has been so hard. It's so hard to be successful as a defense, as a team, and defense and special teams are 2 to 3 phases. So I think the level of difficulty is to execute on defense versus how it was back then, and also the athleticism and the skill sets of the players now versus when Tom was playing. Not saying that he was playing in a slower era, but it's a completely different game. So I feel like the way that Pat is winning right now is a lot harder than the way that Tom won back in the day. So I think the 3P will put him over the top.
So then in your MJ and LeBron debate, are you saying
LeBron James is the best player?
Okay.
LeBron is the GOAT. I don't want to get into LeBron debate because that's going to take us a different direction.
So crazy.
But LeBron is the GOAT, bro.
So what's crazy is I believe Mahomes would be the GOAT if he won this game. I think that MJ will always be the GOAT of basketball.
This is why I think MJ will always be the GOAT of basketball, because MJ was the first to do it. He was the pioneer.
That's not why I think that, though.
Bro, but hear me, though. MJ was the first. He changed the game of basketball. No question. People the game is different because MJ was so dominant in the era he was.
Yeah.
But at no point was he playing the level of talent in basketball that LeBron had to play and overcome. LeBron had preconceived notions about who he was going to be. The hype he had coming out of high school. His own teammates, when he got drafted into the Cavaliers, were saying this guy's not going to do shit. But on top of that, on the other side, there were people saying that he needed to be the best player ever to surpass or to overcome the anticipation that people had for him. And he still went beyond that. And he still went. LeBron James is not the greatest player. And there's a lot of debates, and I don't got all the facts right now. But just based on my experience, LeBron James. Josh Giddey is doing the fake the dunk to the layup that they playing on Jordan highlight tape over and over and over again. Josh Giddey doing that shit. Come on, bro. Like, that's just a common thing in the league. It's a different level of athleticism. He's 40 years old. He posterizing people at 40 years old. He's 40, fam. 40. Yeah. And still, he just now dropped to an all-star level player. He was all-world, the best player in the league. Now he just dropped to an all-star player, and he's 40. Come on now. What are we talking about?
That's fair.
What are we talking about? Braun, man. It's Braun.
So then wouldn't Brady be in that same kind of discussion, being able to do it at 42 years old and win a Super Bowl?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that. But unfortunately for Brady, he's just been wheeling and dealing too much. He's just too good.
So, LeBron
and
James.
Who's the source? Who's the source of this information?
LeBron James is the greatest athlete to ever play the sport of basketball. Michael Jordan's the greatest player. And so I think there's a difference. LeBron's more athletic than Michael Jordan ever would have been. And if they play one-on-one, LeBron might beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. But the greatest player for the element of basketball and the 6 for 6 is decision-making for me. The 6 for 6 in the finals, that he's 6-0. He has not lost a finals game, Michael Jordan. Whereas LeBron, we've seen him lose a several. I just think that the efficiency for me is what takes over. And that's the same reason I think Pat can be the greatest, because the three-peat is a level of efficiency in a short period of time. Winning 4 Super Bowls before you're 30, something Brady didn't do, and a three-peat. That efficiency to me, you're the greatest in a short period of time, to me is more important than the longevity. That's just how I have my GOAT rating.
Okay, so your conversation is based on fact. Mine is based on feeling.
I got you.
Me?
I understand.
I'm going with Pat, but LeBron, bro. He's the LeBron, bro. It's just LeBron. Like, you got to also think Jordan went 6 for 6, right? Who do you have with him when he won those championships?
Yeah, that's the next topic.
He had other major all-stars. When you seen LeBron against the Warriors in the last time he went to the finals, or against the Cavs, when he was on the Cavs, and J.R. Smith, he scored 50 points, and J.R. Smith fucked the game up in the last.
That's true.
He's got to play his own players and him, and the other team. You feel what I'm saying? So it's more than just, you have to have other players on your team to win a championship. Yep. Obviously, one thing I will say about the Brady Pat debate: Brady had any old type of receivers on his team, and he was winning games. Yep. Same with Pat, and they went and got Pat some players as well. But I think last year was kind of the point where people were like, who are these guys at receiver for Pat? And he's still wheeling, dealing, and winning Super Bowls. So, yeah, just to put it out there, my whole argument was based on feeling, it wasn't on facts. So,
understood.
Fact check.
Understood.
Who's the source? Me. I made it up. All right.
Just like the internet, right? The second thing I'm howling on is the tush push is a skill play. We're going to hear it a lot in the Super Bowl about the tush push and how it's a whack and this and that. I have long been a proponent that the tush push is not only shouldn't be outlawed, it's something that they are really good at, just the Eagles. And it was confirmed this week when I was at the AFC Championship game, and I saw the Bills and Josh Allen fail 3 times on the quarterback sneak. Josh Allen is 6'5", 240 pounds. They've got a really good O-line, and they got stuffed in key moments. And you can say whatever you want about the play. Did he get it? Did he not get it? Did the ref cheat them? Whatever you want to say about it. But the fact that the Chiefs were able to stop them 3 times on a quarterback sneak, to me, just reaffirms my thought of this is a really good skill play that the Eagles have become great at. What do you guys take?
I mean, I think it's a skill play, dude. I think they practice it, and it's really hard to stop something that you don't practice against. And It's hard to replicate that because of the way that they do it and their technique. So that's why no one else can do it. Until somebody that was a part of the Eagles organization goes to another team and explains to them the intricacies of how to stop that or how to perform that, I think we will continue to see the Eagles be successful with the tush push.
Yeah, it's not the sexiest play, right? You watch it and you're as a fan, you're kind of like, oh, here we go again, But I mean, imagine being on the other side of it, right? Like Eagles fans are ecstatic about that play, right? Because it's guaranteed that you're going to get that yard every single time. How many times have we seen, teams like we were talking about Cam with Buffalo, right? Like they couldn't execute those short down distances. And when you're on the other side of it, it sucks, right? But when you're on the receiving side or on the giving side of it, as the Eagles fans, like it's the best fucking play on the planet Earth. So it sucks, like, when you're just looking at it and you're going against it. But at the end of the day, like Vaughn, you said it, they execute it to a T. And you can't really fault them for that, right? It keeps working, keep running it, right? And they have the personnel to be able to execute it. They run it perfectly. They got the bodies behind. They got the bodies in the front. They got Jalen Hurts, who's also a monster, strong ass dude. So, I mean, you gotta keep running it, and hope maybe someone will be able to stop it. Kansas City stopped it pretty well against Buffalo this year or last week. So we'll see if they get stopped this week.
Yeah, that'll be a fun battle. 82.5% they are with Jalen Hurts running the QB sneak this year as far as effectiveness, getting the first down. So yeah, it'll be fun to see. They almost always run it on the left side too, which is interesting. Yeah, because you think as a defense, what side they're running on. You could load up, but something about that low leverage. Maybe teams got to do what Frankie Louvu was doing and just kind of try to jump over the line and time that jump.
That was wild.
Did you have a strategy for that, Vaughn? By the way, I know y'all.
Yeah, so they put
me
in the B gap. And they were like, "Yeah, get in, get low." I was like, "I'm a safety, 300-pound offensive lineman. What do you want me to do?" What do you want me to do? They put me in the peak out there, like, get in there. So if you go bring up the clip, the first time I like tried to push my way in there, and it just like didn't work. Got pushed back. The second time I tried to jump over the pile, I did a front flip and landed on my feet, and then I just walked to the sideline because they had just scored. So I'm like, bro, I'm not on field goal block. I'm not. It just to me, it's like coaches start to try to figure it out and do stupid shit when they're trying to figure it out, and it ends up becoming.
I mean, you got to throw everything at it to try.
It changes the whole game. Like we got them 2 years ago. We got them in 3rd down and 2, or 4th down and 2, 4th down and 1, like 4 or 5 times, and they just did a tush push and got the first down. Like any other team would have kicked a field goal or punted, but they were able to capitalize on the ability to perform this play at such a high rate that we couldn't do anything about it, and it continued their drive. And on top of that, it's a momentum changer regardless of how the game's going. They're snatching the momentum because they get that conversion, and now we're standing there feeling like, damn, if we get them back to another, 4th down and 2, they're just going to do it all over again. So it's demoralizing to the opposite team, but for them, it's, they snatch the momentum, and in a game like the Super Bowl, it's definitely something that they need. Although, as we've talked before, momentum is almost, extinguished after certain breaks in the game, in the Super Bowl. But that kind of play like that is just going to continue their drive, and they'll be able to score off of that.
Yeah, it's like they make it 1st and 9. Like you mentioned that, if you look, you may stop them on 3rd down, but you're like, dang, it's 4th and 1. Like, dang, now we had to if we stopped them 4th and 2 or 4th and 3, we felt better. But now 4th and 1, it feels like it's almost automatic. So, third thing I'm howling on, I am tired of the complaints about the Chiefs and the refs. Like, I get it, and there were certainly a lot of questionable calls in the playoffs. But I'm tired of every single thing involving the Chiefs having to be the refs. The refs this, the refs that. Like, the team is really good. And just being real with it, and I'm not a Chiefs supporter by any stretch, but, like, sometimes you're called penalties more or less because you're a more disciplined team. And I think they maybe don't get credit of Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo coaching them very well. Patrick Mahomes sells some claws on the end of the things, and he shouldn't be allowed to get away from. That's the ref's job to officiate that closely. And if he's trying to tiptoe along the line, he's doing what NBA players do when they sell calls. As long as the refs will call it, I'm going to try to get you up in the air. And so I'm just tired of that always being a narrative. I talked to like 5 people this week, and everything is like, oh, well, are the refs going to help the Chiefs win the Super Bowl? Like, do you think the league is really trying to help a small market Kansas City team win the Super Bowl every year? It just doesn't make sense in my eyes. Maybe they get some breaks because of their quarterback. I just don't think that's the overwhelming reason why the Chiefs are the Chiefs. What you think, Dre? I can feel your hesitancy. Tell me where I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. I hate to play that, that guy that's like, oh, it's the refs. I mean, you look back over the course of the season, there is a lot of questionable calls. But I think the Chiefs are just, kind of like on like they're magnified more, right? Like you're always watching the Chiefs because they're always winning. And then they're in all these close games. So you're like, oh man, it came down to that one call. When reality is there's probably a million calls that went on in that game that, went against the Chiefs, right? And it's like, it stinks that you keep seeing the Chiefs winning and everyone wants to point the blames on the refs. I can't buy into the fact that the refs are all, selling into the fact that they want the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift, though, I don't know. I know that helps you, so maybe.
Hey, but there's a lot of power that comes from the Swifties, bro. Now, I do believe in that supernatural power. I may not believe in the rest, but Taylor Swift, she got a lot of power going on over there.
They say they got some black magic going on over there.
They letting the rivers run red with blood. They killing goats. They're committing heinous crimes against animals in the back of their facility to win these games. Man, they're pulling the shit off. I don't get it. I literally don't.
I will say this: with all the close games that they've had this year, I mean, they could have easily been like a 10-win team, maybe. Right. With the way some of these games went. You're talking about the blocked field goal, and mind me, that's good coaching too, and great play. Great play by the players. But it's like, I look at the Dolphins and I'm like, damn, bro, we never get any of those breaks either.
Right. I mean, you can say about the Commanders though this year, like they had a bunch of last-minute wins. They could have been.
That is so true.
In the back of the stadium as well, but I think back to the refs. One thing that people don't they don't pay attention to is that a lot of the time, like you said, this discipline is not a well-taught thing in the league. A lot of teams are not very disciplined, and they're penalized a lot. So when you face the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that doesn't get a lot of penalties and is very disciplined, it's going to stand out to you because it's something that you rarely see. It's almost like seeing basketball being played and there's somebody gets 40 points not going to the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? Like it's truly ethical. Strictly ball. Shout out Cade Cunningham because he just dropped 40 with only going to the free throw line 3 times. You know what I'm saying?
You're not a free throw merchant, you know?
It happens a lot for the Kansas City Chiefs that they don't really get these type of calls because they're a disciplined football team. But Pat, you know, he like we've talked about this before. He maximizes his ability to get these penalties called. You know, threading the line on the sideline, getting down late on a sliding. That's not his fault. He's taking advantage of the gray areas of where the league is. So I just think that yes, we can say on social media the Kansas City Chiefs don't get penalized that much. But 9 times out of 10 is because they're a more disciplined team and they don't get penalized because it's taught and their coaches are on them for it. So if anything, it's a testament to Andy Reid and Spag and Daly or Nagy and how they, you know, establish the culture out there that is don't get penalized. So. For
sure. All right, fellas, let's go ahead and start to wrap this thing up. Let's just make some game picks. This is our short preview here, so we're just gonna give our perspective. We pick our games, give us a short reason why, and we'll close out Breaking House Rules like that. So who wants to make their pick first?
I'll go first.
You want to go? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. I'm gonna go Philly. I want to see Saquon with a ring. I also do not just want to see the Chiefs win another Super Bowl. Honestly, pretty simple. But more than anything, I would love to see Saquon win a ring. Giants fans are probably crying right now seeing what Saquon did this year and seeing him in a Super Bowl. So I would love to see Saquon win, and I do think Saquon's just going to continue playing extremely well, even though I'm sure the Chiefs will have a great game plan for him. But Saquon, and I think Jalen's also going to make enough plays. I think everyone's kind of put him under the radar because of how well the defense has played and how well Saquon has played all playoffs. But I think Jalen is, as much as he's kind of been, I wouldn't say he hasn't been bad. He's just, he's been very efficient. I think he's going to make enough plays with his legs, and I just think it's the Eagles' time.
Yeah, I think, I honestly think the Chiefs are going to win, and this is completely oceans out of it.
No, 100%.
I want the Eagles to win because it would be dope and for the city and whatnot. But I think the Chiefs are going to win, man. I think Spag does a great job of game planning into the playoff stretch, and now with 2 weeks being able to really dissect their offense and how the Eagles want to play offense versus how they want to avoid playing offense, who they want the ball, whose hands they want the ball in versus who they don't. I think Spag's going to do a great job of, coming up with a game plan that capitalizes on their weaknesses. And I think Andy Reid as well and Pat are going to, wheel and deal. I think they've got a lot of firepower. Hollywood Brown being back and what's the Xavier Worthy, Travis, even D-Hop being in year 12, going to the Super Bowl, he's been quiet. Last game, he's been quiet. And this is a type of situation where, he may have 1 or 2 games per year where he just, has flashes of the old D-Hop back in Houston. And I think this would be that game for him, especially in the red zone. He's a dangerous individual in the red zone. And I think that it would be something to see him take advantage of that and get a Super Bowl ring for sure.
Juju, too. Juju had a great game last week.
Right. They've got weapons, bro. They've got weapons.
Yeah.
They really do.
Kareem Hunt starting to heat up for them, too. So.
Yep. They've got weapons. So
yeah, that Chiefs team is really good, man. I've really got one rule in football: don't pick against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. That's really it. He you can say what you want about the refs or Taylor Swift magic. Patrick Mahomes just has a level of finishing that's a part of why I think he is eventually going to be the GOAT, whether it's this year or whatever. I just think that he's just built different. But I think Philly gets him. I think Philly gets him this year. And I think you mentioned it, Dre. I think that Jalen Hurts takes a lot of notes. And a lot of people give him flack because he's not the purest passer. He's not the most accurate. He goes through spells, ups and downs. But that dude works, and he's a competitor. And what we saw from him in the NFC Championship game, I think we see that version of him here in the Super Bowl. People forget the Super Bowl 2 years ago these two teams played was an excellent Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts probably played his best game as a pro. He arguably outplayed Patrick Mahomes. They had a couple turnovers. Mahomes got the ball last, that sort of thing. I think we get that type of game again, but I think that Philly's defense gets 2 turnovers on that side of the ball, and Philly does not turn over the ball, and I think that's how they win the game. I think they control the ball with Saquon. Jalen plays well, and those 2 turnovers end up being the difference. So I give me Philly by a field goal late.
Yeah, score-wise, I'm going to go like 24-21.
Okay.
But not field goal. I think the Chiefs are going to be down a touchdown, and it's going to be last game driving.
Mahomes game on the drive. Yep.
Yeah. I think. I mean, honestly, before we were saying don't bet against Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl, we were saying don't bet against Tom Brady with 2 minutes left in the game. You know what I mean? Like, minute 30, he's going to be able to drop down. So, after giving you some careful, considerate thought, Tom Brady's the GOAT. So let me take that back. You just got to cut out that last shit. Tom Brady to go with the Raiders, man. Come on, no, it's fine.
Hey, they got some money. You know who else got some money? The Jacksonville Jaguars, who just
shout out Campanelli, man.
Anthony Campanelli is their defensive coordinator, and who knows?
And Grizz, at Tampa. Shout out Grizz too.
Yeah, that's true. Who knows? Some teams with a lot of money. We got free agents. Hey, we got Super Bowl now. Free agency next. I don't know. I'm just bullshitting.
Some of the being in the league, bro, and seeing coaches that were like GAs and assistants when you're like young, seeing them get OC, DC jobs, head coach. That's how you stay in the league a long time. You build relationships, and then you get what I'm saying. So
yeah,
no speculation. And look, just for the record, I ain't been talking to nobody, nothing like that. So
no tampering.
Yeah, no.
This is just speculation bullshit.
Right,
we just talking.
We just talking, bro.
Yeah. I think Camp's going to be excellent at DC though. He was here as a linebacker coach in Miami. Great personality. Great vibes, motivator. I thought that he could have been in the mix for the DC job that went to Weave. Worked out for both sides, and now he's a DC here. So good luck to him. And appreciate y'all vibing with us on this special 2-episode week of Breaking House Rules. Subscribe, follow. Dre, you got something for us to finish here?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up with some Tranquilo Thoughts. Championship weekend, so we're going with a championship thought right here. Championships are won from the core. To build a home, you must lay the foundation first. Brick by brick, homes are built. Lay the foundation of your home and your life, and one step at a time, you will build the life you want. It's not about being perfect, but it's the foundation of what you build that will create long-lasting success in your life.
I love that. The foundation. And we continue to build this Breaking House Rules foundation. Y'all support us. We appreciate y'all. See y'all next time.